Good afternoon. Welcome to the January 20th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And we'll begin with roll call. Joyce?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Sharon?
Here.
Joe?
Here.
Betty Ann?
Here.
Danielle?
Here.
Seb is excused and Paul is excused. Alright. I'd like to hear a motion on the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Staff has recommended a little change to the agenda. We're going to get a CIP update from the city CFO. Can I have a motion to amend the agenda today?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And I'm going to hand it over to Cam.
Hand it over to Michelle. So,
She's going to
Pass the
introduce.
baton. Yes. So this is the Chief Financial Officer for the city, Michelle Shumpert. How long have you been here?
21 years.
21 years. So,
Right.
Not always in that position, but in some financial position. I know some of you. It's nice I haven't been in front of the Planning Commission for some time. We used to come to the Planning Commission and present our 5-year capital plan every year. But I guess in the past few years, administration thought, well, if we're just doing maintenance on a building, refurbishing a building, or a field, or if it's infrastructure like water and sewer, stormwater, that we really didn't need to come to the Planning Commission to discuss those things, and we would only bring to you new buildings or new facilities. I don't know what we'll end up with on the plan this year, but I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and present it anyway once it comes in. I'm still waiting on requests from departments. I'm also going to ask you folks if you have something that you would like the city to endeavor to build or rehabilitate this year, that you would also make your suggestions for additions to the capital plan. We're going to have a preliminary budget meeting with the new mayor, Mr. Crua, on February 3rd, and hope to get a little bit more direction on when our budget retreat will be and what exactly they're looking for. But sometime in the next 2 or 3 meetings that you folks have, I would like for you to put some suggestions together for Cameron. I can come back and talk to you more about it if you'd like at that time. And then once we have the 5-year plan together that we will recommend to council, I'm going to come to you guys first and get your input on those projects before we go to council. We used to ask the Planning Commission to prioritize projects. I don't know if that's what you want to do going forward, but I'd ask you to talk about it. If you'd like to see what the last year's 5-year plan was, I can send that to Cam. He can get it to you and you guys can look through it and think about how you would like to tackle it. I'm going to let you all decide. This is a completely different group than what I used to work with, so. I know. So, do you have any questions?
I have one. I'll tell
Sure.
you one thing right off the bat.
Okay.
The city serves parking lot.
Oh, it is already underway. The mess that you see behind us, they're undergrounding the utilities, and then the next steps over the next several months they'll begin. They're actually going to do pavers on the backside of this building, just like behind the Rainstream Brewing and that new parking lot over there behind 9th Avenue.
Okay.
We're going to actually do it with decorative pervious pavers behind here. So it's going to look and feel a lot like what you see over there to flow. It's going to be larger also. That way on the weekends it's just additional parking for people in the downtown area.
Wonderful.
So it is underway, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the package you talk about sending to Cameron and provide to us is the 5-year plan you had and prioritize
In
what you said?
2026. Because I don't
For
have the
just
27 yet.
2026, okay.
No, it is a 5-year plan.
Right.
The way that works is council will actually adopt the first year of the plan. So last year when we set that plan through, they adopted and appropriated funding for FY26. The additional 4 years are just a plan. They do a resolution to commit to those projects, but you'll often see some changes. We do that because long-term planning is what's expected naturally with capital projects. projects, you've got to have that. But it also affects our bond ratings and our creditors. When they look at us, they want to see that we are planning into the future.
So what we'll be talking about is what will happen in July, when you do the final budget.
Well, actually, for those 5 years, for any of those 5 years.
I know, but I'm saying, like, 26 has already been approved.
July 1st, 26 through June 30th of 27 is the next fiscal year.
Right. It has been approved or not approved?
The fiscal year that's been
Right.
approved is July 1st, 25 through June 30, 26.
Exactly, that's what I was
Yes.
getting to, is that when you say
Yes.
2026, you're talking about June 30th. What you're asking us to have input in is the next year plan or even the future vision plan after July.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll get that to Cameron, and he'll be able to provide that package.
And
Yes.
Thank you for
there's
going
lots
over.
of things that no one really thinks about, that a building needs a new roof. Nobody's gonna, in here is gonna know it,
Right.
that a building needs a new, or the back end of a building is falling apart, where a truck ran into something, or the fire department. I mean, there's lots
Field
of,
replacement.
there's lots of, it's unbelievable amount of things that, for maintenance and repairs.
And it's even bigger than what you last saw. Now, there's a lot. Between the
Yeah, a lot.
stormwater, the water and sewer infrastructure we're doing, it's a lot. I think you'll be interested to see how much really goes into the upkeep and the renovation, rehab of the city facilities.
Great. Thank you for pointing that.
So they should drive around and look at city buildings and city properties.
Sure.
I mean, really, because you're not gonna know, you're not gonna know.
You know, a good example is this building, and you see, of course, right here in the entryway as you come in. This was, I believe it was about estimated at $60 million to replace. And for just under $4 million, we were able to rehab this building and the City Hall Annex over there. Added, I think, either 13 or 15 offices. So it really saved us a lot of money. We found that the bone structure was good, so they just decided to renovate.
They built good post offices way back then.
I remember, yes. Yes.
Good.
All right, if you have any questions or anything, you can send them through Cam, and I'll be glad to answer.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Michelle.
you. Thanks, Michelle.
And just before jumping back in, to Michelle's point, I will have on the upcoming agenda just a standing meeting point from communications to start talking through the CIP. So you'll see that on the next agenda. It'll just carry through while we work through this process. So.
Thank you.
Moving on, presentations and new applications. Pre-fin 2601, Pine Island Point, Aisha.
This is a request from Pine Island Point LLC, Harry Shelley as agent, to subdivide approximately 4.73 acres of Sea Pine Boulevard, parcels ranging from 125,453 square feet to 80,586 square feet with 2 new drives. Here, highlighted in blue, is the parcel in consideration between Seaboard Street and Pine Island Road. Here you see the plat showing the 4 parcels, with the largest lot being 125,453 square feet, and the smallest lot being 80,586 square feet, with the parcel location being zoned Pine Island PUD. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer, and the applicant is also in the audience.
Any questions for Taisha? With the applicants in the audience? Mr. Shelley?
If you need to ask any questions, I'm here.
Any questions for the applicant? Okay. Moving on. STM 2601, Pine Island Point, Aisha.
This is a request from Pine Island Point LLC to name 2 new drives off Sea Pine Boulevard, serving the Pine Island Point PUD, White Dolphin, and Moonshell. Located and highlighted in blue is the parcel. Here we have on the top the White Dolphin Street, and in the bottom Moonshell. I do want to let staff and the commissioners know that staff recommends changes due to conflict with E911. We would like White Dolphin to be changed to Braxburn Street, and Moonshell to be changed into Alcamilla Street.
Can you say the first one again?
Braxburn, BRAXBURN. And then the moon shell at the bottom would be recommendation Camilla. ALCHEMILLA. The applicant is aware, they gave us these recommendations. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer, and the applicant is also in the audience.
Any questions for staff?
Was there any specific reason why you recommended those streets?
Yes, so there is a lot of streets in the city of Myrtle Beach with the name White, and also there is a moon shell in North Myrtle Beach.
Thank you.
There is?
Good, on staff, any questions for the applicant? Mr. Shelley, please sign in and state your name.
Perry Shelley, Island Point. Could I have a little bit of flexibility with the names? I submitted 5 or 6, my first names were rejected, then I sent a few more. I need to talk to the rest of the group, the hotel group, different folks, make sure no one has heartburn with these. Are you okay with that? Were the other names okay?
Yeah, most of them are okay.
Okay.
Yep, if you wanna email me, if y'all have any
I
ones
will.
that you like the most, those are just the first two.
I will.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Moving on to communications from staff, bylaws discussion. I'm going to turn this over to Cam.
Excellent. So, the bylaws were brought up, the board has not touched the bylaws in 2 years, to my knowledge, at this point. So, moving forward, this will be something that we, again, similar to the CIP discussion, hold on the agenda for the time being. My intention with this one is to have the board go through the bylaws, look at all of the segments of the bylaws, either as backstop for things like state law compliance and alignment with other municipalities and what they're doing, but to review the bylaws and ensure that the rules of the board are being accurately and fairly portrayed and held to. And so that's kind of the rolling target here on this one. The big thing for me is I'm going to take notes on this and the discussion that the board has of the things that they would wish to either change, modify, add, or drop. And I'll take all those notes back in, we'll work as staff, and at the next meeting we'll come back in with a draft of the bylaws reflecting those changes for the board to ratify if they find it acceptable, or to continue making changes through the following meeting if necessary. So at this point, I would just kind of turn to the board and say, having read through the bylaws, are there things that stand out to the board that either need clarification, change, something you think needs to be added? I think, from my perspective, one of the first things was the voting procedure for how we did chair and vice chair hasn't been ratified into the bylaws before, so that is something that I'm working through right now to make sure is added into the bylaws. So I'm happy to answer any questions that y'all may have, or to, I'll leave it at that.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Section 3, officers and duties where it says secretary. Since staff has kind of assumed that role, just cleaning up that language to state that, unless somebody disagrees. But
Say that again, explain what you're saying.
staff has assumed the role of secretary, Caitlin, and so just cleaning up that language to make it more clear.
Just for clarity's sake, are you at the top where it says the commission with approval of the city manager appoint a member of the staff as secretary of the commission? Are you comfortable with me moving that so it's just a staff function and you all don't have to seek approval for the city manager to do that? I would be comfortable with that.
It's just a staff function.
Yeah. Not something that the board would have to seek permission to allot to staff. Staff would just assume that as a role.
Okay. And we are able to, if we needed to amend that, because the state statute does state the commission determines whether they need staff to appoint that.
Well, I think that would be a discussion for the board to have, if you're comfortable either just removing that and having it as a staff
Right.
function, because I don't think we're going away anytime soon, or if you want the language to reflect that the board themselves can denote the staff member, but I think simply just delegating as a staff authority would be acceptable.
I'm just thinking about as people come in and out of the commission, do they even know that the planning commission is the one that actually determines to allow staff to do that, which I'm 100% in favor of.
Yeah,
But
it's just,
semantics
it's just an accepted practice, I believe in almost all of the commissions for the city. It's just an accepted practice. You don't want to start assigning.
No, I'm not, yeah, I'm trying to change what we're thinking about. It's fine.
Anybody else got anything? Phil?
Hold on to your hat. First item I had was under the first page, section 2, officers and duties. Cameron has alluded to this. It says about the commission, the officers are appointed each calendar year. I think the state laws are very clear that there's really only 3 ways that's done, or to me, I was wanting to add to this section how that process is done. One, the chair calls for a nomination. It is a PC matter and needs to be handled by the planning commission. That the chair follows the Robert's Rules of Order for nomination, and if the majority confirm a nomination, the officer is appointed. If the majority does not confirm, to ask for another nomination. And that the voting has to be done publicly. It cannot be done as a private vote. And that's according to the state statute.
When you say private vote, what are you saying?
You can't do what we did. It's not appropriate. I'm not going against you. It cannot be done in private ballots. It has to be, it's an open meeting. It has to be done in public.
Okay.
Just like it's done with mayor pro tem, and everything else.
Okay. I will say that is a contradiction to Robert's Rules of Orders, because Robert's Rules of Orders does allow ballot-based voting, so
Yeah, well,
that's something.
maybe I shouldn't say Robert's rules then.
Yeah. No,
I'm talking about in terms of the way it goes about, in terms of, nominations made, it's considered.
Sure.
It's a first, it's a second, then it's discussion, and then there's a final vote. But it does need, the final thing does need to be done.
Yeah,
So-
okay. I'll look at that in the context of the state law.
So does it have to be, can it be altered for individual boards away from the state recommendation or not?
I am unsure. I'll have to look at that.
So anyhow, I'm putting that up for consideration, that it's, has to be a public vote. And I'll companion this list so you don't have to get too lost.
Okay, yeah.
Did you have anything else in that one you wanted to consider with the other one? Okay, next item is Section 3 meetings, Section 2 agendas. It could be at page 2. The last paragraph talks about, reviewing of the agenda. I would like to add this paragraph because I believe many commissioners may not be aware of this, and we want to try to make sure you feel good about it. But to add a paragraph that the planning commission may request an item be added to the agenda prior to being finalized by submitting a request to both the chair and vice chair for consideration, and includes the reasons for the request. In other words, I don't think we do have a line that if there's a meeting just like happened today, if you want to add an item to the agenda today after the public hearing, then it has to take the full majority of the vote. But I don't think a lot of commissioners don't realize that you have the ability to ask for an agenda item prior to the agenda being completed, and we could approve that to be part of the agenda and to be added, and that's what I was wanting to try to add to it, so that going forward, the commissioners can feel comfortable. If you have something you want to discuss, or something that's needs to be brought before the planning commission, is to feel free to be able to request that to be placed on the agenda.
What are some examples of things that a commissioner would want to add to the agenda?
Well, it could be anything, an ordinance matter, maybe a consideration of something that might, that we would like to see the commission to do, what we would like to be involved in, some things that maybe we think needs to be done that may not be being done, because Austin and I are just representation commission. We don't own the commission, we don't have it, and it allows that freedom of addressing items and thoughts that commissioners may have pent up but don't know how to address it and want the commission's input on it. It could be even a legal matter that might need to be brought up, and it might be something that needs to go possibly to an executive session or anything like that.
Wouldn't that be covered under the communication from planning commission?
Where's that at?
At the bottom
G.
of the agenda, G.
We have that every meeting. Wouldn't that be covered there?
I was going to ask you, Phil,
Yeah.
are you saying you want on communications from planning commission, if Sharon, for example, had something she wanted to talk to, she could
Right.
say, hey, I want to,
Put it
I
under that
want this.
section, under that agenda. Right.
so it's just a line item
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
communications from.
And that allows the commissioners to know that it's coming up and can be given time to think about it and be aware of it, so that there can be proper input. Just a thought. It's a line item. Exactly. It could be put right there.
All right, so just to clarify for myself.
So if y'all, everybody feels, you want to leave it like it is, it's fine. I'm just bringing it up.
So you're saying add a paragraph between
Or
the
sentence.
the sentence, between 6 working days, and items may be added to the agenda at the meeting by a majority vote, to an item that would include items may be added to the agenda prior to the meeting per request of a planning commission member, or something along those lines. Something that doesn't require a full majority vote, and it's not at the meeting, but it's prior to the meeting to be added to the agenda.
Or it could be done, it don't have to be at that section, it could be down where everybody called out, is where we have under agenda, we have communication from
I
planning
don't think it should
commission.
be done.
Be added under that.
Because you're not in quorum.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I don't think it would be done prior to the meeting because you guys aren't in quorum.
What do you mean prior to the meeting?
You made a statement prior to the meeting.
Yeah, so if you put in a request in ahead of the meeting, you don't have a quorum to approve that goes on to the agenda. So that's what I would want to make sure we're very clear on when it comes to the rules and regulations, both of Roberts and also of the state. There might be, I don't know, but there might be a statement that says you have to have a quorum for a member of the body to add something to the agenda. And if I'm just getting like an email from one person saying I want this added to the agenda, I don't know if that follows the rules, regulations, and guidelines that we have to follow. So I'll have to check on that.
You're correct.
Okay. So we won't worry about that one. So what
I'll
we're
still
saying-
look into it.
Yeah, it might be modified.
Yeah. There might be a way to do it, and I'll look into that.
I'm doing it to try to encourage commissioners to feel free
Yeah.
to speak up.
I was going to
Yes.
say,
Whatever
I
we can- that's my
think the
intent.
The intent's
intent
correct, yeah.
behind it, I think is great, that you can, if you have something that's important to you, you want to talk about, bring it and let's discuss it. I don't know how to get that
I'll
on
work
the
through the
agenda.
legality of it and make sure we're following the rules that we need to.
Yeah, but I
And
think
it would
the-
probably exclude anything you have to legally post.
Definitely would on that, yeah.
Right.
So, I would bring up one here. The bylaws state that chairman and vice chairman will review the proposed agenda no less than 6 working days prior to a regular meeting. City's policies currently, our agendas have to be turned in on Thursday, which would be 5 days before the meeting. So I looked across the state at other planning commission. Most of them, 5 days appears to be standard, so I looked to the board to see, would you all be in favor of going to 5 days to more align with what the city already previously does, and what other municipalities are looking to keep it at 6 days?
That's fine.
Yeah.
5 days?
In between, I don't know if you want to do it in between section 3 and 4 on page 2, but we have public hearings, but a section for workshop
Okay.
and how workshop should be handled.
Is there a way that you all as a board would want workshop handled?
Personally, I would like to see the applicant go through his presentation before staff, or however that works. But I'd like to see the applicant have more involvement, especially during the workshop.
Would you like to have them show up?
Yeah, that would
Well,
help.
they haven't. They
Their
haven't.
purview.
I think that you need to add that on. They need to
Well,
show up. If that can be required, I don't know.
how would that work with our 60 days from when we get an application in? If they weren't to show up, for instance,
Yeah.
if it was workshop and
We
they didn't
tried to
show
do
up.
it once before, Austin, and I think we were stopped that we had to proceed with the minimum time or maximum time.
Right.
And I think we were stopped from requiring that.
Yeah, the one, subdivisions would worry me the most because those are on the tightest clock governed by state law at this point. So if we're holding up somebody's project because they didn't show up, I feel like that would put the board at considerable risk to have something approved that might not necessarily warrant an approval just because y'all haven't heard the item in due time. So as much as I would like to be able to write in, please show up, I don't know how enforceable I can make that.
Yeah, we tried it before.
Yeah.
Legally, we tried it before, so it would be helpful.
It's always in their best interest to show up.
Right.
So why in the world?
Maybe there's
They
a
don't
line
show
that
up.
can go in there that says attendance is strongly encouraged or something like that, but as far as a requirement goes, I doubt we can do that. Okay.
But during the workshop, just to read it, I'd like to see the applicant have a bigger role in the presentation of whatever project they're trying to get done than relying so much on the staff to present their project.
Okay.
Do you think today's presentation was worthy of what you're seeking? No one asked a question. No one asked a question.
But I guess what I'm saying is I would prefer that the applicant have to pitch their,
Show a little bit more interest in the
Correct.
project.
correct, versus relying on Taisha or Cam or Kelly or Caitlin, whoever's presenting to handle it for them. I don't know how that works legally and how you word that,
I
but
think that's helpful. What you're saying is recommend we put a section workshop, which emphasizes that. And that it's first, let the applicant present first rather than staff present first, because that puts it on the applicant to then represent, not just let y'all be there. You really shouldn't be their representation. You're helping us rather than them. So it could be in the workshop, they go first. Then if y'all have additional comments to make, staff makes comments, then we make comments.
Okay.
That might be a helpful thing.
The bonus with having the staff present, that they're going to be succinct, to the point, no dog and pony show, just the facts, ma'am.
There could be consideration for a time limit given on the applicant giving their presentation. I could look to see if that, first of all, is legal to do, but I don't doubt that you could do that. I think it would be good to have staff do a very succinct overview of the project just to introduce it, but not to get into the nitty-gritty details, I think. So I think to today's presentation, what Taisha showed for that subdivision is almost the extent of what I would want staff to intro it with. Here's the property, here's the plat in question.
You're introducing it, you're not describing the whole
Over to the
thing.
applicant,
Yeah.
hey, follow
Will
up
you
with some
please
more
explain your purpose?
And
Correct.
personally, these three wonderful staff members, and Cameron too, but they present very succinctly, very truncated, better than anyone we've ever had.
I agree.
We used to have staff members that were very verbose on it, and I think they do a great job.
Okay. Well, I'll look to build, very similar to that public hearings, I'll look to put in a workshop section that clarifies the pattern and procedures of workshop, so that way we can hopefully get a bit more applicant involvement in the process as well.
Plus, the staff is very neutral. They've done an excellent job of being neutral. I just want to point out good stuff.
Thank you.
No, honestly.
Yeah.
That's great, and I think we all agree too. In that same area with going to the 5 days for our receiving the agendas for approval, does there need to be a change in when you can get the packages to the planning commission for the pre-meeting packages? Generally, you've been doing it on Friday. You still think that's feasible? Because if you push to 5, that's Thursday now, I think. Of course, we get it, and it won't take us but a second. But
So we've been talking internally about different ways to kind of clear up the packet situation. I don't think we've discovered the best way to do it. We used to mail them, they get lost and damaged in the mail. I don't think going purely digital is the solution either. We've been talking at a staff level about getting it out on Thursday rather than Friday, so we're more closely aligned with the agenda has to be turned over to the administration on Thursday. Packets are going out the same day, so that way there's not a mismatch between y'all seeing the agenda being posted online and then waiting a follow-up day for the packet to be delivered to you. So we will try to do that. I don't necessarily think that's something that needs to be written into the bylaws, but it is something we're handling at the staff level.
okay, that's great.
I think that's wonderful, because when you're going out of town on Friday,
It's hard for everybody.
getting it Thursday, at least you get it in your house. And
That might help y'all too. If it helps you, that's what we want to do anyhow. Could we add in there about all material in the PC packages should be viewable and text legible at the normal hour with reading glasses?
Who's reading glasses, really, or mine?
Anybody's.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I think I heard from a lot of people about that.
we all can see.
I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of commissioners due to what I've been through in the last month, and some of these things has come up, so that's why I'm bringing them. I guess I'm being the guinea pig for everybody. And I know that's what y'all working with, and that's great too. Section 3 meetings, Section 4 public hearing.
Can I go before you go to?
Yes, if you haven't finished.
Well, conduct of meetings, Robert Rules of Order shall govern the conduct, so that needs to be altered if the state preempts that. So that's not correct. It is either this or it's not this.
Well, I know I can speak publicly and say about that. If Robert Rules of Order allows silent votes, I know for a fact that's not.
Okay, I'm just saying, it's, you either say state and or a combination, or it preempts
Right,
or
that's
something, but that line, you've already introduced something, and now you
Right.
can't do that.
Yep, understood.
That's a good thought. Great. Okay, under the public hearings, we stopped at number 7. I wanted to add 8 and 9 that after the chair closes the public hearing, the PC has opportunity for further discussion, then the chair calls for a vote. Those aren't in there. Everybody okay with that?
I guess we do that, we just don't.
Yeah, but I mean, we are listening, so we might as well have it approved, I'm thinking. Page 3. It says in section 5, executive session, the last says, no vote or poll should be taken exam when we come out of executive session. The chairman confirms that there was no action taken in the executive session. Should we add, voting by PC if needed is to be taken once general session has been reconvened or rescheduled on the PC agenda in a future meeting. Sometimes in executive session you go in and you go, we need to take a vote on that, and you have to come out of that to do the vote. To add that into the vote will occur after we get back in general session. Or is this set enough to?
I I think that's said enough because you said no vote shall be taken while in executive session, implying that all votes have to be taken outside of executive session, so I think that's implied.
We haven't had an executive session, I just
I
absolutely.
was reading that, and I was very curious.
It was wonderful, not, since we used to have them all the time.
I did want to go back to, where's it about, we just talked about the minutes being taken by,
Secretary.
not the second one, but it's the one further down.
Page 1 on
Oh,
1.
yes, for page 1, secretary shall record all minutes, hearings, et cetera, shall prepare minutes of each meeting for approval. I'd like to add in there that the meeting minutes shall include all items that were, all action taken by the planning commission and any request by the planning commission for applicant, staff, or PC to address, such as reports, items of consideration, request changes, assignments.
Could you say that again, please?
Yep. The secretary shall prepare minutes of each meeting for approval by the commission. Statute states that minutes should include any action taken by the planning commission, which is what we do. Any votes taken, any action taken. I'd like to also add, and any request by the planning commission for applicant, staff, or planning commission to address, such as a report, items of consideration, requested changes, and assignment given. Those be included in the notes. So that, the purpose of that is, like, the chair assigns one of us to do something, or we ask the applicant, will they make this change or consider this change in the public hearing, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, we have it all here recorded, but how many of us has got the time to go back to recording to list all the things we requested an applicant or staff to do to make sure we cover them? It's all individuals trying to tap it, where if they're listed in the minutes, then we get the minutes in preparation for the next meeting. We have all those items there so that everybody's fully aware of what they were, and we're not redundant with what each other's doing, and it's providing.
So if someone's absent, someone's absent at the workshop, they see this in the minutes and they're more
Exactly.
prepared.
And that can help them know what was discussed and what went on, so they'll be able to prepare to help on that too. It's for all those type reasons.
Typically, whenever we do like a request in the minutes, it's like a specific, this is requested to be in the minutes. It's like a statement
Okay.
with them saying like,
And that would help you know. how to-
reflect this in the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're requesting the applicant bring in a tree survey.
That's a good point to put in there. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's to help all of us, because then we all have all the input that was there and of those requests, because we all get confused.
Well, everybody better remember what Caitlin just said, because
Yeah.
that's a very important
And that's
thing.
important, and we need to help you to remind that. Are you saying you want the request to place that in the minutes for us to remember next time we come in? That's a good idea.
Okay.
I like that. You okay with that? So far, not saying if you're 100% against it, we didn't know what to do. Okay. Criteria for excused absences. We went back and forth with that. I am recommending we place back in the criteria for excused absences because it makes it easier for a person to feel that their situation has been listed and they don't feel like, are they being looked at, or they're not doing their duty or whatever. So I would like to place back in those lists of excused absence: job conflict, personal illness, death in immediate family, jury duty, out-of-town vacation, and then I like this one, which was absent, deemed excusable by majority vote of PC. That allows an ability, if a person has an issue that's not even listed here, to ask, would the commissioners please excuse me, and it allows the commissioners to be able to make that decision versus one person making that decision. So y'all can see.
I think that's very personal.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if you want to be here, you need to be here. And if you can be here, you should be here. And to ask somebody, it's a personal, I mean, some people shouldn't be here when they miss so many. There's only 24 meetings a month. So if you, and I said this at our last meeting, if you miss 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, which people have missed, then maybe this isn't the right place for you, you know? I mean, but don't you, I think it's personal for you to know that somebody had COVID or whatever.
So y'all prefer to have it, I'm doing it thinking of people and how they feel. You would rather have it open just if you asked to be excused and you notify in advance for it to be that, or would you like to where you have some lists? That's all. I'm just trying to do what's best for the commission.
I like for it to be personal. I know for me, if I'm not here, like
Okay.
it's work or like
Right.
I'm sick.
Okay.
And I like being here, so
Okay.
that's not the issue. It's just if I can't be here, like
Okay.
obviously my job is more important.
Good.
at that.
We'll take that.
Well, that's wrong right off the bat.
I'm just saying, I gotta make my money before I can.
And that's good. And that's why I'm bringing this up,
But I gotta be
because,
here.
you know, you hear different things, you hear things. I'm glad we're doing it because it lets us know that everyone has
Right.
a good feel about this. We're not, it's not one or the other or anything else. Okay, now the next item is unexcused absence. I am asking for consideration. What has been alluded to is that an unexcused absence that we change from the commission shall recommend to the commission may recommend for 3 unexcused absences or is absent more than 5 total meetings. And remember, this is may, not shall, and or is absent more than 5 total meetings. 5 total meetings is 20% of all the meetings. More than 5 is more than 20%. And that doesn't mean the person is bad or wrong if they've missed that much. It's just saying, is your circumstances in a situation that, yes, you desire to serve, but do you have the time and ability to serve? Because if you get too many, then it's really, the value is being lost. So the thought process would be, maybe we add to this, it may, because it's really the planning commission, when I read this, it says the planning commission, really the planning commission makes that determination whether to take it to city council so I think may is a better word than shall, and I like 5 plus, more than 5, not 5, more than 5, it may be a recommendation.
That's like you're allowing, you know, you can do, I mean, that's a lot.
And it goes back to excused versus unexcused. Currently, an excused absence is allowing, or letting the staff know that you won't be there. An unexcused is a no call, no show, correct?
So you could be laying dead out on Oak Street because you couldn't call, and that's unexcused.
Correct.
I'll jump in here. I'm not my board, I just liaison y'all. I would personally recommend scrapping the idea of excused versus unexcused and just go to strict absences. Set a percentage that you all feel is attainable for a board member to maintain. And Phil, I do disagree with you on may. I would worry that may would allow for like personal agendas to come into either saying someone can stay on the board or moving for their removal. That's why I think shall was the word that they chose, because then there's no partiality into it. It's that you didn't meet this criteria.
So why haven't we done it?
Why haven't we done what?
Done what we said we'd do.
There's a whole host of things in these bylaws that have that haven't been enforced at this point.
That's what I'm saying, don't put something
I
there.
will say, I have released somebody from this board
Yeah,
for
but-
being absent.
Yeah, this says the planning commission will do it, not I. The planning commission needs to
What does
vote
the
to do it.
what does the state say about, does the state address that at all, please? Do you have the state?
I don't have the state statute from me. I will do
I
my
think
research.
it's 3, I thought it was 3 in the state. But I haven't read it, so.
Now, we could look at that, we could just do period. But I think one of the reasons we do unexcused, because we do need to know if someone is going to be absent and know they're going to be absent, because that can affect if we even have a meeting.
I do agree with that.
If we don't notify and there's not gives us a reason not to notify, people just won't show up and we get here and there's not enough to do a meeting, whereas by having the unexcused absent, it's at least putting somebody on notice and say, you need to let us know before the meeting happens. So that's the thought. I'm not debating it, I'm just bringing out all the
No,
different.
I think that's a fair point. I think I've seen with this board more often than not, people are courteous and respectful and will let us know. And I don't know if it's that unexcused absence that's forcing them to be courteous and let us know. I generally think the people of this board are good, decent human beings.
Generally. Wow.
Y'all have some thoughts on it?
Yeah,
I want to know what the state says. I think it's 3.
Well, the state does say 3.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part.
But it also gives the leeway for the commission to.
So then they're reported to city council at 3. Or however it works.
well, I would say let's table this one, let me do my research into what the state requirements are and bring back a proposal to you all at the next meeting with the bylaws. I think the intention for the board, if I'm hearing you all, is please show up to your meetings, it's your responsibility.
haven't
not
tried-
their-
No, my intent is not to talk about the people that aren't showing up. My intent is to try to give the commissioners a fair day and be proactive in what we're looking at. I mean, the people that are not attending, but we have to have something that stops at a point. I mean, when someone misses 40% of the meetings, I mean, we don't know, the way we've been doing it, we don't know if something's been recommended to council or not. And I think we need to be open whether there's a recommendation to council or not, so that we're all aware of it, because it's been left generally up to the chair to do that. Well, it doesn't say that either. It says the planning commission, not the chair of the planning commission. And we need to know it because they're going to ask us questions about it. And then I didn't even know it was recommended. So we have to have something. But I want to try to do something that's fair. If we won't rather go with the, keep it like it is, a 3 unexcused and a total of 5, or something to that be, and keep it shall, then we shall means that we've all agreed when it gets to that number, it's going to happen.
Okay.
So we need to be aware of that. So do look it up.
Absolutely. Yep.
You might want to ask the city attorney about it too.
Well, I don't want to be a police for the whole board. I mean,
That's right.
I
Yeah.
don't.
We don't,
I don't
that's
wanna
why it
vote on
needs to
it. I don't
be,
wanna do
that's
that.
why it needs to be, if it is or isn't, not, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. But I think we're right, we can't, we, you know,
I think we've been generous
yes.
and fair as possible.
That's why I was gonna put may. If we're not gonna hold it, then put may. If you are gonna hold it, put shall.
Yeah.
But then we're on the same docket. We can't, no.
My question to you, and I'm open
Exactly.
to it. If we start releasing board members and we can't replace them, where does that leave us with getting a quorum? And
That's right.
is it better to have people that sometimes show up, sometimes don't, or have those seats vacant?
There's always a quantity of applications that are always upstairs. So there's always somebody
Yeah.
waiting.
And
I
that's
mean,
another-
people have been calling me for years to be on it.
Right.
So I don't think it's
Okay.
probably not a
That's
problem.
another reason I said may too, is that it doesn't. But on the other hand, if you don't like shall, I'm all for it too. I'm actually being more liberal than I usually am, so.
So we have a yellow tie on today.
Yes, I guess
Okay,
I'm
got it.
caution. But I think these are good things to debate, because we need to understand them and have them, not debate, but discuss. So I like that word, debate.
Elks, or is that all of your points, Bill?
That's my points.
Anything from anybody else? Cam, you got enough to work on?
Oh, yeah. Well, always send me down some rabbit holes I don't anticipate, so I thank you for that. That is drugs.
And I would ask the city attorney about the public voting too. Okay?
Yeah, yeah. I will make sure whatever I put before y'all is legally compliant. That is one of my core job functions.
And I can assure you two things I said was legal or illegal.
I have a question. We used to have a parliamentarian on staff.
What's that?
A parliamentarian on staff?
You'd be on my English there.
Somebody knows the rules and the
Parliamentary
regulations,
procedures.
and we do not have that any longer. We used to have that.
I see.
So I think that there should be parliamentarian to watch all of that from your staff, whoever that is. I don't know who's the most skilled on that, but there should be one. As I said, we used to have one. And it's very helpful when someone said, no, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, this is the, nothing's ever brought to our attention on it. And you people are the skilled people on that. So it should come from the staff. That's a high recommendation for me. I've asked for it before. Upstairs, I actually went and asked them to do it. They said, you don't have one anymore? I said, no, we don't. So, I think that would be very helpful, and then everybody knows where they stand.
Good.
Any communications from planning commission outside of the bylaws?
Still waiting on First Presbyterian Church is alarming, and the old Camelot Theater is atrocious beyond belief. That is, does everybody know where the Camelot Theater is? Some of you do. That's an absolute embarrassment. Please, let's get something done.
It's a cursed lot. Somebody in the 18 or 1700s to curse that lot, the Camelot lot. No matter what goes there, it just does not survive.
I know, but it's
The one on 44?
No,
half
across from the
demolished.
German
It's the
eating
old burned
place
out, it was
near
like a
Chapin
casita
Park,
or
right
something
now.
like that.
The old grocery
It's the
store.
old kind of concrete, it used to be.
Yeah, it's like
Camelot.
burned out and just
Camelot
fenced up.
It's the one that burned up.
It's not right. It's just not right. Yours is the First Presbyterian, that's mine. It's not right.
I agree. It's set like that for
Years now.
Yes.
It's not
almost
months.
10 years.
Yes.
It's
Different
years.
capacities.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but is that something that the planning commission should be discussing and we can do something about?
It's not so much that the board can do something about this opportunity is to bring to staff's attention things that y'all see around town as well. And for us to kind of hopefully put the bug in people's ears to say, hey, where does this stand? And at the bare minimum allows us to come back and communicate to y'all, hey, this is the process it's going through right now. This is why it's sitting there. When we board up a motel and have to go through like a condemnation process, that's a very lengthy process, so it at least allows staff to come back to y'all and say, hey, this is where the process is actually at right now, so that way it is being handled, it's being addressed, and y'all can know that information. But as far as grabbing a pickaxe and tearing something down, no, it's not really the board's purview.
Okay.
No, but bringing awareness is important. Do you recall when you brought up the light
Yeah.
at Data Market Comment? I went down there and looked, I took a picture of it. No, I did, because I thought, what is this monstrosity? Well, it really was actually, I thought, a very clever combination of cell phone tower and telephone, and lighting. I don't think it's the most attractive thing, but I'm glad you brought it up, or I wouldn't have been aware of it. I don't think anybody here would have. But I see them popping up all over now.
I've
by the
noticed
way.
them a lot more now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that to our attention.
The reason why I asked, it's just a new guy question.
Yeah,
I'm still learning a lot
Exactly.
about, what we're supposed to be
It's a
doing.
good question.
And
Charles, do you have any comment about the Camelot?
I'll
Where
go-
are we on that?
I'll have to go with building department. It's a property maintenance
Is it in court, you mean?
I don't know. It's a different department, I'll have to see where they're at.
And we are part of the 5-year comprehensive plan. We're part of the ordinances and the recommendations made to city council. So where we help in what we're doing is if we feel that's not helping the 5-year plan, we bring it to staff's attention, then they put it into their thinking of where they're at of things. Because they miss, either they miss things or they want to hear from the public. We're part of the public too.
And your
we hear
neighbor,
from
and your neighbors tell you
Exactly,
stuff
neighbors.
too. And
Right.
I bring things to the table that somebody said, did you see blah, blah, blah? So I bring things that I have to go look at, like you're pointing out, so.
Yeah, I'll say, we can't, but planning staff can't solve all of the problems of the city, but we certainly are a voice to help solve problems within the city. So the things that you can bring to us, we are hopefully a good repository to help push those messages out. So if there is something you see that you're like, hey, what's going on with this, absolutely, bring it.
Are
Okay.
you appalled with anything? Are you appalled with anything?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Okay.
Ask in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
Yeah, the reason why I just spoke up about that is just because I'm still learning about, what
Yeah.
this commission is capable of doing.
Joe, I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You're contributing, you're interesting, you have good, an extra look at things, and I think that's wonderful. Thank you for being here and serving.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I know we moved on from communication from staff, but I do want to put a bug in y'all's ear. Tentatively, draft agenda for city council has the population element for the comprehensive plan going at the next meeting. So if you have time and want to show support, please feel free to come to city council.
Yeah,
It will be next Tuesday. Yep.
You don't know where the agenda is.
No, so on the draft agenda, it's toward the back end of the agenda, so it'll probably be later into the meeting. I won't know officially until Friday if it is going or not,
Okay.
but tentatively.
Kind of put it in our budget here if you don't mind.
Sure. I'll reach back out.
We've got the agenda when it's going to be, I get the Friday facts. So I can see that.
Friday facts.
But
So-
if it does go, I will send a message out. to planning
But you can
commission.
kind of give a feel for how long you think it'd be, because you have more purview to look at those agenda items and tell how long it'll be.
2 years ago, yes.
No,
I'm
no
not sure
I
right now,
guess no
just
world.
because mayor is coming in with a big agenda of
Yeah.
things he wants to get done. So the last meeting went far longer than I had anticipated it would. So I will let y'all know if it's going to be on there, and I would appreciate seeing if you can make it.
Is the Friday Facts not going to have all the agenda items on it anymore for all it's just a straight Friday Facts? That's the last one last two
I am not
I
sure.
got.
That is a question I can ask the PIO department
I
on.
mean, you have to go down to another thing to get it, if you know what I mean, another level. I mean, it
Okay.
used to be part of the Friday Facts, but
Yeah, I'm not sure the process of what they're doing right now. I think they're in the process of revamping it. I'm not sure where they're at, so I can ask.
I mean, you can find it, but now you have to dig.
What, you talking about the agendas like city council meeting and planning commission, et cetera? I don't know if you, there's when they were talking about it, they had a little thing that said agenda, and I just clicked on agenda, and the whole one came up.
Okay.
And
Kind of look for the agenda highlighted.
It's different now, that's all I'm
Yes, it
saying.
is. It was different
Now
from
you
the
have
first
the-
time I saw it to this time I saw it just two weeks in a row, it's changed twice.
Yes, correct.
You're right.
That's what I'm pointing out,
Yeah.
that it's different now. You have to dig a little.
They still had the agenda, where it says agenda, it said it, where's the click on it?
And apologize for looking at my phone, I saw it light up from Charlie over there, so thank you, Charlie, for this and reminding me on this. Volunteer luncheon is next Wednesday, so please RSVP if you haven't, noontime.
It's too late to book.
Is it?
Well, it was December.
I thought it was still good through this week, so.
They probably will let you.
Well,
know.
They won't care. You know they won't care.
I'll give up my
They'll have
plate.
another piece of chicken.
I'll give up my plate if I have to, so.
Serve. Oh,
yeah,
what a sport.
Volunteer luncheon next Wednesday at noon time at the convention center, so I hope to see you all there as well. So that's all I had.
I hope we're getting an umbrella.
Motion to adjourn, somebody, maybe?
I'll make the
Motion
motion.
to
Okay, go ahead, you do it. Sharon, did you do it?
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion
Has
carries.
anybody ever been opposed?
You made it through, buddy.
Can I?
Thank y'all for being patient with